Welcome, everybody, to the third episode of Awakening the Ordinary. Apologies for missing last week. I was incredibly sick. My whole family was. That is why I sound like RFK Jr. right now. So, apologies in advance. Probably going to sound a little rough, a little gruff this episode, a little ASMR action, but we're going to get through it because honestly, it has been a whirlwind week. And if there was ever a week to miss, it was not this past week because every single day there was some absolutely insane stuff happening. So I really want to talk about a little bit of what was going on. I want to give a little bit of a little tease about what's coming up for Awakening the Ordinary. And I kind of just want to check in because honestly, man, with everything that's going on, I get it if you're feeling a little overwhelmed. So, yeah, let's get to it, I guess. As of the 29th, Trump has passed exactly 38 executive orders. That is unprecedented. It is groundbreaking. It is historic. Whatever words you want to use, it's absolutely crazy. It's never happened before. A president has never passed 38 executive orders in the span of 9 days. And those executive orders range anywhere from kind of like weird performative stuff, like renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, to like, holy cow, insane stuff like ending birthright citizenship, something that could genuinely affect millions of people immediately. And then on the other hand, there's like weird kind of contradictory executive orders too. Like he did one about like ending the war on freedom of speech that the federal government has apparently been hosting. But then almost immediately afterwards, he did one to deport students who are speaking out against the war in Palestine because he doesn't agree with that speech. So yeah, it's been a whirlwind. And then in the meantime, we had the shortest trade war basically ever with Colombia. It ended up with them unfortunately basically just kissing the ring. So Trump got a fantastic political news cycle, and France declared that they're ready to put boots on the ground if we decide we're serious about taking Greenland. So yeah, all in all, an absolutely whirlwind crazy week. And at the end of the day, yes, seriously, it's called the Gulf of America now. Okay, in less US centric news, China did release their open source AI model, and it was at a fraction of the cost of US AI models. And so, because I was lying earlier when I said less US centric news, that sent our markets tanking. I mean, plummeting. It turned into a financial free for all, basically. There's a lot to cover. I'm not going to be going into like incredible detail on any of it because that's not what I do. I'm not a news organization. I do want to talk about some stuff that I find really important and pertinent. But honestly, I've been talking about a ton of political stuff lately, and this is not a strictly political channel. So I'm going to kind of try and keep it brief. But I just want to give you a couple of things to maybe focus on this week. So, first of all, if your head is spinning because of all of the executive orders, because of all of the whirlwind of news, the inflammatory things that our president is saying, the insane conspiracy theories he's coming up with, I want you to know that that's okay. It's, first of all, entirely intentional. And second of all, it is meant to confuse you. It's meant to give you basically analysis paralysis. It is what they call a shock and awe tactic. He's trying to flood the news cycles, every news cycle, with new executive orders, contradictory executive orders, things that are hard to kind of comprehend even all at once. And the reason he's doing that is to basically give you so many targets that it floods your radar. It gives you outrage fatigue. I mean, you cannot be angry all of the time at everything that happens, right? You can't. So what do? You basically shut down. You're like, "Man, I can't even listen to this stuff. I'm going to just forget about this. I want to close my eyes for the next 4 years. Please, I don't even want to hear the name Trump, right? I don't want to hear about any of these crazy executive orders. I don't even want to think about what's happening to migrant families. I don't want to hear about whatever national tragedy is going on." But the truth is, if that's the tactic that you take, he wins. The bad guys win. It's more important than ever right now to stay informed. Every single one of us is called to serve. Years and years and years ago, when the world was covered in wickedness and strife, the Lord sent a flood to wash it all away. And then he promised never to do so again. And right now, it's our time. We are that flood now. We need to be the flood and wash away the iniquities, the inequalities, the terrible sins of our fathers. We need to create a new world. It's our job. It's our time. So please, I know it's scary. I know it's hard. I know it makes your heart ache every single time you turn on the news. You see these tragedies, you see these terrible things, these embarrassing statements made. Please don't give up. I'm asking you to be brave. Don't bury your head in the sand. Be brave and speak out. If you can only choose one thing that you care about, choose it. Be passionate about it. Fight for it. Don't wait for a hero to come save you. Be that hero. Secondly, I want to reach out to a group of people who I might not even be watching this right now, but I still feel the need to put this out into the world, and maybe it'll reach people who need to hear it. There are some people currently who are delighting gleefully in the suffering of others right now. And I really want to implore you, truly, consider that even if somebody has a different political opinion than you, a different perspective than you, even completely different ideals than you, even if somebody is not here legally, even if you consider somebody strange or odd, they're still a human being and they deserve dignity. So I'm not here to try and convince you that, people who are here illegally deserve to stay. I'm not even going to have that discussion, really. I just want to implore you to consider their humanity. We are all one. We are all on the same team. Understand that people's families and lives are being torn apart right now. And even if you do consider that a necessary evil, please, I truly implore you to keep their humanity in mind. Keep empathy in mind. Now, thirdly, as far as the AI stuff is concerned, I just wanted to share a couple of thoughts. I know we have kind of briefly talked about AI on this channel before, and I believe I've mentioned that I am an accelerationist. I believe that we need to march forward strongly in the pursuit of AI. It is inevitable. It is going to happen. The only question is, where do we take it from here? I see that it can go in two ways. Eli Whitney invented the cotton gin. He was a strict abolitionist, and he invented the cotton gin because his way of thinking was that if you can have one slave do the work of 12, suddenly you only need a 12th as many slaves, a fraction of the amount. Unfortunately, corporate greed and evil got in the way of that. And of course, because the love of money truly is the root of all evil, people took advantage of that. And they thought, if I can have one slave do the work of 12, I should get as many slaves as I can to do as much work as possible. AI is our new cotton gin. With AI, you can replace the work of 1,000 workers, 1,000,000 workers. And so we get to decide right now. Does that mean that we can take people out of the workforce while still making sure that they have a comfortable life and everything that they need? Or are we going to abuse that? Are we going to squeeze it for every last drop of productivity and money that we can? I believe that the march forward is inevitable, and so we should rip the Band-Aid off. I think it's time now to accept that AI will be removing millions of jobs. And instead of leaving this for our children to figure out, I want us to figure it out now. It's time we make up for the sins of our fathers, and we don't leave it to our children anymore. So, when the opportunity comes, please speak out. Universal basic income, unionizing, workers' rights. These are keywords you need to keep in mind over the next 4 years. There was just a movement in Utah just today, and I'm dating this episode a little bit, talking about removing the option of collective bargaining. That means that they were trying to make it essentially illegal to have a union anymore. I think it's time that the corporate class remember unions were our form of compromise, because back in the day, they didn't like how things worked out when we didn't have a voice. They got visits at midnight from angry workers, and it didn't end pretty. So instead, we have unions, collective bargaining, a way to come to the table amicably and speak with each other as equals. They have the money, they have the funds, we have the numbers. It's time that we speak out. So over the next few years, as AI explodes and absolutely obliterates millions of jobs, please keep that in mind. You have a voice, and it's worth hearing. So, with all that being said, thank you for tuning into this shorter episode. I'm still getting over this cold or whatever it is. I really can't speak for too long at once, so thank you for bearing with me. I did promise a little bit of a tease coming up, and I wasn't just talking about, this button here. Soon, upcoming, I'm going to be doing an episode about spirituality, all about spirituality, talking about my journey with an awakening, talking about how your cognitive biases can basically lock you into the matrix, and how understanding logical fallacies can help open up new gateways for you. I'm also going to be doing my very first attempt at a guided meditation soon. I'm really excited to publish that. I hope you guys enjoy. I want to show you guys a tool that I use myself to help keep my head on straight in these crazy times. So maybe together we can be here for each other, support each other, love each other, and get through this. So check out the description below for a link to our Discord. We've got a burgeoning community there. It's not super active, but maybe if you join it, will be. You can also take a look at links below if you want to buy me a new shirt. I keep busting my buttons on this one. So finally, hit me up in the comments section if you want to talk about any of this. I'm more than happy to hear from you. I want to hear from you, whether you agree or not. Don't forget, when you change your perspective, the reality changes. See you next week.